Hello, hello. How are you? I'm Geraldine Wilkins, the Living Water Quilter, and this is another Quilt Conversations live. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And those watching the replay, welcome. We're so glad you're here. If you are new, say hello in the chat on Facebook. Say hello in the comments on hello in the chat in YouTube and hello in the comments in Facebook. Either way, say hello. We're glad you're here. Hello, Sherry. Hello, Benita. How are you? Hello, Copper. How is everyone tonight? It's so good to be back together with you again. How was your week? How was your week? Did you have a good week? Were you busy? Did you get a lot done or did you have some rest? Hello, Tanya. Hello. So glad you're here. All right. From Gettysburg. Fantastic. Who else is here? Cassie. Hello, Cassie. How are you? Did you do any stitching on your machine? Did you do any stitching? Who else is here? Marcia. Hello, Marcia. How are you? So glad you're here. It looks like you are ready for Christmas and the New Year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Yes, it's December already. Can you believe it's December 2021? I can't believe it. This year has gone by so fast, so fast. Wow. Hello, Sharon. I see you there. Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm so glad you're here, Sharon. Welcome, everyone. Wow. So what did you do this week? My week was full, full, full. We had some warm weather here in Virginia, so I took advantage of that and did a little bit of house maintenance. Well, actually driveway maintenance. Had a couple of cracks in my driveway, asphalt driveway, and so I filled those cracks, preparing it for winter. So I did that. I also had oral surgery. I had surgery and I needed that done, and finally that happened. Hello, Lois. So glad you're here. Welcome back. Did you have a good time with your family? Did they like the gifts that you made? I hope so. I know you spent a lot of time making those special gifts. Your family from Alaska, right? All right. Yay. Did I miss anyone? Let's see. All right. So, yes, busy week. What did you do this week? I had oral surgery, still recovering from that. And then I got my booster shot for the vaccine. And then I went live on Amazon again. This was the last of the series for books. Remember, I told you for the month of November, I was going to do some books on quilting books, sewing books, craft books. Yeah, it's feeling better. It doesn't hurt at all. And they have me on some, medication regimen. I've been on it for 3 days, and that is helping. So I think it's good to go. Of course, I have to go back. I got a couple of stitches, and it should be good. I'm not worried. But if you feel so inclined, please pray that there are no complications. I appreciate that. All right, Sharon, you got yours. Good. And you were met with your quilting group on Thursday and you exchanged gifts. Awesome. Woohoo. What did you get? Did you get a fun gift? Yeah, I don't know what possessed me to do both in the same week, but I'm a multitasker. Are you a multitasker? Let me take something to drink here. Okay, great. Getting your booster on Wednesday. Awesome. Oh, wonderful. Lois had a great time with her family and they were pleased and loved meeting her great granddaughter. What a blessing that is. How old is she, your great granddaughter? keep that a little bit longer. And Tanya's getting her booster next week. Wonderful. That's good. Yes, the dentist makes me nervous too. My dentist is really, really good. I've been with them for years, and I don't even know that I'm getting the needle until he pinches me, and even then it's so slight, very gentle, very gentle. I like that. And I'm thankful for dentists and hygienists. I could never do that kind of work, and I'm so glad for those who can. Aren't you glad that there are people who can do that? It even bothers me just to have someone looking into my mouth, let alone me looking into someone else's. So I'm glad there are people who can do that for us. Oh, thank you, Marcia. Thank you. Appreciate that. 5 months old. Wow, that's young to be traveling. Okay, did they make it home safely, Lois? I'm sure they did. Okay. You love your dentist and hygienist. Yeah, I've had the same hygienist for years. They gave me one person, a different person once, and I said never again. No more. I want the same person. You've gone to the movies and shopping with your hygienist. Wow, that's a close relationship. Wow. So I think, yeah, that was most of my week. And of course, I had a little bit of sewing. Anyone do any sewing? And I did, of course, emails and other computer stuff. And I met with a graphic artist, ladies that are in my alphabet design ebook mini course. Any of my free motion quilting or ruler quilting designs, I pay and hire a graphic artist to transfer my ideas and sketches into um, vector patterns. And for the ruler quilting, it's to scale. So I had a long 2-hour meeting with him yesterday. He's working on some 4 sets, different sets, each with 15 to 20 designs for the classes that I teach. So I'm getting some amazing work done for ruler quilting designs, and I can't wait to share them. Ah, you finished a quilt and you tried freezer paper, paper piecing. Awesome. Yay. No sewing for copper, but you did a lot of unpacking. Yeah, from your visit. Yeah, copper, I can see that. Wonderful. Well, I think we're all caught up, except I want to share with you what I did on Amazon. Remember, I go live on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on Amazon. And for the month of November, I was going on Sunday and Wednesday, 7 p.m. But now, December, it's going to be Wednesday only. Let's see. Where is it? Okay, here we go. So, guess what? I have been on Amazon live 12 times. 12. I can't believe it. 12 episodes. So this is episode number 9. I talked a little bit about this last week, and I talk about the tools I use to transfer designs from stencils to fabric. And the photo you see here is me demonstrating how I use this special chalk. And this chalk, once it hits the fabric, it stays there. So you can stitch and not worry about it rubbing off as you stitch. It's only removed with water and steam. A hot iron, I shouldn't say water, with a hot iron with steam. So go check that out. That's episode number 9 on Amazon. Then episode 10, I talked about some star quilts and star books. And this is one. This is the Diamond Star Quilt book. Easy construction, skill building. If you've never made a star quilt and you want one, that you might want to consider this book. And guess what? It's on sale. I think it's 15% off. I think it's 15% off or 20. It's on sale. Good price. So that episode 10, is about star quilts. Okay. And then let's see. Episode 11 was all about AccuQuilt Go Cutter. AccuQuilt Go Cutter. And I talked about, I talked about some of the quilts that I've made using the Cube 8. Have you heard of the cubes that AccuQuilt Go has now? So this is Cube 8 and then also some other dies. This one is the Hunter Star die. So this is a separate die, separate from the Cube 8, but I talked about both. And so I made this quilt. And part of the discussion in that, on that live, which is available, it's recorded, I talk about how you can use these dies to help you use them in a different way. And here's a little thing for those of you who are budding designers who design quilts. And I share this in the live session. Let me go back to, I'm going to go to the host view. Okay, so here's the thing. I love the AccuQuilt Go for its accuracy in cutting fabric and the speed, because you can cut several layers at one time. How many of you use that? You've heard of the cubes, okay? You've heard of the cubes, but you don't have any yet, okay? Excuse me, my nose is itchy for some reason. So I will look at, when I'm designing a quilt, Sherry, you use EQ8, and so when I design a quilt, I'm always thinking about the free motion quilting. Remember months ago when we talked about the 10 steps for stress-free machine quilting, and I gave you those 10 steps, and it really begins with washing your fabric. But for a designer also, in terms of designing the patchwork pieces, it actually begins there, at least for me. So when I'm designing a quilt and I see that my color placement within the patchwork creates one continuous piece of fabric, I will redesign the block so that I don't have two pieces when I can use one. So in this case, with the Hunter Star, you're supposed to use 4 squares. And usually you put different colors, right, on those 4 squares, or the same color. Is it the Hunter Star? Am I doing the right one? Hunter Star or the Bear's Paw? Hunter Star, Bear's Paw. Let me get the die. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, ladies. I keep saying Hunter Star and it's Bear's Paw. Forgive me. This is Bear's Paw. I talk about both dies in that live. So the example that I'm giving you in terms of free motion quilting and ruler quilting, that we start to think about that process early. And that process, remember the 10 steps to stress-free machine quilting? I'm just going to share that again. I start as a designer when I start to design a quilt, thinking about the free motion quilting. And so for this Bear's Paw, you're going to use, what, four different squares to make the bear paw, right? And you can use any color you want. And you're using half square triangles. However, I wanted to use it a little bit differently in the design. And as a result, it created a continuous color across the bear's paw block. Say that 3 times fast. So when I designed an EQ8, I changed the configuration of the block. Okay, are you ladies following me, or is this confusing? All right. Yes, it can get expensive. That's true. You know what I did, ladies? My AccuQuilt Go, I purchased it used. I found it on eBay. I found someone that sold their AccuQuilt Go and a whole slew of dies for less than half the price. Much less. I purchased it used. So eBay, that's where I got mine. Okay, so you're following, Tanya. Great. So even if you don't use the AccuQuilt Go, just the whole idea of that if you're designing your own quilts and you're thinking about free motion quilting, yes, now that's a deal. Exactly. I like to minimize the number of pieces within a quilt block so that I can have continuous fabric. If I don't need to have 2 seams or 3 seams, I'd rather cut a rectangle than 2 squares and a strip, which is in this bear paws. So I used the bear's paw AccuQuilt cutter to cut the half square triangles, but I cut rectangles where I knew that I was choosing a color that was going to be continuous over 3 patchwork pieces. Yes, exactly. Fewer seams, lesser seams, exactly. So I'm going to show you the block. Let me go to the overhead camera. And remember I said I always do a test. So here's the block. Here's the hunter star, right? And normally you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 squares because you have your half square triangles and your solid square here. You have your rectangle here and your square here. But I wanted this to be all one color all the way around and just one dot of color in the center. So cream or white background here. And so this is what I did. This became a rectangle. So no seams here. You need a seam to get this color, right? You need a seam to get this color. So then now the background color here, and then no seam on this side. No seam on this side. So this was my test block. And remember I told you my test blocks I decided are all going to be white and red so I can make a quilt, red and white quilt. So that's what I did, okay? I hope that makes sense. So when possible, when you're choosing fabric for a quilt, and if you're designing or you're using a pattern and you're going to combine patchwork and make it one color, see if you can reduce your seams, because that gives a nice smooth look in your quilting. Okay, so let's go back. So here is the bear's paw, not the hunter star. I keep saying hunter star. Bear's paw. And as a result, look at the color placement. Color placement within a quilt. I talk about this in the live in more detail on Amazon, the replay, how I designed this quilt. Yes, a need to plan for fewer seams. Yes, Sherry. And so anyway, I talk about that, and I just wanted to share that with you. If you're interested, go watch that episode, and it's episode number 11 on Amazon. Let's see. And then the last one, episode 12, I talked about this fantastic book. And I talked about batting and some other things. Some ruler quilting too. I talked about some ruler quilting. Oh, thank you. So this book is called The Ultimate Finishing Guide. The Ultimate Finishing Guide. Batting, backing, binding, and 100 borders. I talk about this on Amazon. And the reason why I want to mention it to you here and encourage you to go watch it so you can see some of the things that I mentioned in the book. Again, remember the 10 stress-free things for free motion quilting, 10 steps of stress-free free motion quilting or machine quilting. Part of that list talked about batting, and it talked about, of course, finishing, which is the free motion quilting. It didn't talk much about binding. But here's the thing. If someone decides these separate topics are important enough to create a book, that means they are important, at least in my opinion. Selecting the right batting. How do you choose batting? How's that going to influence your free motion quilting? This book goes into detail about batting, combination choices. It also talks about the backing. Amazing book. I consider it like an encyclopedia. An encyclopedia. Let me go to the overhead camera real quick. Just real quick. So, borders. How many times have you had wavy borders? So this is not only batting, backing, and binding. It's also about borders, right? 100 plus border ideas. It tells you how to eliminate those wavy borders, how to check the quilt top for squareness. Because we're not perfect. Our seam allowances, as much as we practice, we're going to have variables, right? Thank you, Copper, for sharing that link. Awesome. Thank you. That's it. At my Amazon page, you will find a curated list of quilting books. And you'll find all those. Matter of fact, since you shared the link, let me show you how to get there. There, let's see. That's the wrong thing. I'll hide that. So this is it. tools.livingwaterquilter.live. And when you get there, you'll see this. You just scroll till you find the list. And there is the list of books right here. Okay? You just click on that, and then you'll find the books. Easy to find the books. The other thing, whoops. Okay, well, you didn't want to do that. All right, let's go back. Let's see. When you want to find the replays of the Amazon Live, you just scroll down to the bottom. Scroll down to the bottom, and there are the live replays. In the upper right-hand corner, it says View All Past Live Streams. You click on that, and it brings you to the live streams. And there they are. All 12. You can choose to watch which one you want. And just below the video, you see the different books and or products, tools, gloves, acrylic rulers in that session that I talk about and give demonstrations on. I talk about it, give demonstrations on that particular tool. Okay? So, that being said, I talk about this book, Pinning for Perfect Fit for Borders, adding multiple borders. This book is fantastic. If you want to finish your quilts well and you need help in finishing your quilts, I consider this a fantastic book. So go take a look. It could be a Christmas gift or present, birthday present for a friend or for yourself. Something to think about. Remember, all those steps are important for finishing a quilt. And all you have to do is think, do I need help in that area? Is this book going to help? Are you a book person? Do you like diagrams step by step? Or are you a class person? Do you need a class and a book? Or do you find a tutorial videos that for better? It's really up to you. But I just wanted to share that with you. I hope that was helpful. Couldn't find. Okay, you were trying to find the multicolor wheel in the list and you couldn't find it. All right, let me see if I can find it for you now. Let me go back. I think I put that in with the quilting books. Let's see. Nope, I put it in with probably quilting tools. Let's see. All right, let's see. Close that. Okay. Okay, I found it. Let me show you where it is. If you go to craft books on the list, I will show that to you. Okay, so there's the title, Craft Books. This is, I have a lot of lists. So here's my page, right? Tools.livingwaterquilter.live. And then below you see the lists, all these different lists. And it's in the craft books list. Maybe not the right list. Once you click that, it'll open up and you'll see the mini color wheel. Well, what you can do is in that live session, all the products are listed underneath. So that's when you would see that particular product. That's a way to find it. Because then I've pulled it out of all of that list and I put it there. Is there another category you think I should put it in other than craft books? Should I put it under a different or copy it into another list so it's easier to find? I want people to be able to find it. So let me know. Oh, thank you, Copper. I'm so glad. Every little bit helps. Thank you. And that's a reminder to say that as an Amazon associate, I do earn from qualifying purchases. When you go to that page, you click and you buy something, that helps to support this channel. It allows me, Quilt Conversations, to go live, to get microphones, to get the computers and the different things that I need to go live. So I get a little bit of commission from qualifying purchases when you buy something on my Amazon page. So I thank you for that. And this also reminds me that I want to thank those who are part of Quilt Conversations Live community. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being a part of this conversation on machine quilting, sewing, and I just love that we're getting to know each other. And I appreciate those like Wilda and Sherry and Denise and Terry and others who have taken the next step and they have said, we want to be a part of this. And some have become members and others, when they feel led because they've learned something here and they appreciate that, they buy me a coffee. And so I thank you for that. That is helping me get the tools I need to go live. And it takes work. It does. It's not an easy thing. I've had to learn a lot of different things to be able to go live, to share the things that I share with you, to have an overhead camera, to have a microphone, to pay for the subscription to go live, all of that. So I thank you. thank you for making it not only possible for me, but for all the other ladies on Facebook and YouTube to be able to join this conversation. So thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Wilda. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Denise. And if you're interested, you can buy me a coffee. If you want to be a part of this community, you just go to join.livingwaterquilter.live and you can become a member on a monthly basis, or you can just, whenever you feel like, wow, that was a great tip. I never knew that. That's valuable. Thank you for sharing that. Here's $5. Thank you. Easy, easy, easy. Not hard to do. Oh, Sally, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you saying so. Thank you. Maybe quilting tools. Okay, I have quilting tools. I'll put a copy there. Thank you, Copper, for suggesting that. Yep, thank you for suggesting that. I will do that. So, speaking about Quilt Conversations Live, I've also been meaning to say we want to continue for this to be a safe place. So, this is just a gentle reminder that community rules, YouTube and Facebook are serious about community rules. Thankfully, we have not had any, or we've had very little, I should say very little. We've had a few rare occasions where some people have come into the chat and they have not been kind. We want this to be a safe place, to continue to be a safe place. Kind, encouraging, uplifting comments. We want to be always doing that here at Quilt Conversations Live. We want to have fun. So I think it's important just to remind everyone, and I'm thankful again for Copper, who is our moderator on YouTube. Thank you, Copper. So she's monitoring the comments and will take care of anything if there's ever a problem. So thank you, Copper. And if I miss a question or a comment, Copper is going to help me find that. So thank you for doing that as well, Copper. Appreciate you. And then the last thing, Quilt Conversations Live technically is sponsored by Living Water Quilter. That's my business. That allows me to go live, right? And so Quilt Conversations Live is not a place to talk about other companies or businesses or quilters or courses, because they have their own place. And so for the community, we are talking about Quilt Conversations Live conversations, Living Water Quilter tools and products and classes. I love that there are so many options for you ladies. You have an option to be someplace else right now, but you chose to be here. And I appreciate that. And I'm thankful. So I love to share my love and passion for quilting and to share the things that I do to help you grow as a quilter. And so just for mutual respect, part of the community rules is that we don't bring in conversations about other businesses, quilters, and things like that, promoting other classes or Facebook groups or anything like that. I'm sure you understand, because they all have their own, and we are free to go there and to be here. I'm happy for anyone that is live and sharing content for all of us. I follow a lot of quilters, and occasionally I might share something that I got from them, but it's not to promote them, but just to let you know that it wasn't my own, that I'm also a student of quilting. All right, so I think you ladies all understand that. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to email me if you have questions about that. All right. Yes, it does. That's true, Sally. It is very expensive. That's true. Aw, Sherry, thank you. You ladies are awesome. Thank you so much. And I'm learning along the way. You know, I have never ever said I do things right all the time. And so if I ever say or do anything that's inappropriate or hurt someone's feelings, it's never, ever on purpose. I'm just human and I make mistakes, and I will apologize when I do that, especially if someone tells me and I didn't realize that I did so. So don't hesitate to let me know if I've ever done that. Okay? I make it look very easy. Well, I think this is episode number 42. And so the more I do it, the easier it gets. But I'm constantly trying to improve. So I will watch the replay and see, where I've made mistakes on the technology wise, or sometimes there's a problem that happened that you ladies didn't see, and I'm kind of glad you didn't see, but then I fix it the next time. So I'm always a learner. But the main thing is for us to have fun, right? And which reminds me, a couple of weeks ago, I left you ladies hanging. I put this up. Do you remember I put up this word scramble, and I didn't give you the answers? I apologize for that. Someone should have said, Dina, where are the answers? Maybe you did, and I didn't see it in the comments. So I apologize for that. And I know Lois is very good at this. Lois always gets these words. And there's 1 to 20. If you want to do that, you can. You can unscramble. They're all quilting words. They're quilt blocks specifically. And so if there's a number after the letters, that means there are 2 words. Those were hard. Those are hard. Okay. I know, it's terrible. I'm sorry. Hey, Wilda, I didn't realize you had joined us. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, awesome. Okay. Did anyone want the answers? Let me know, because I don't want to forget. You can only do the short ones. Yeah, they're kind of long, huh? Like number 19 is easy, I guess, right? 3 letters. They're popular quilt blocks. Let me know if I should just show the answers. Maybe you can take a screenshot and then try it. The spaces throw you off. That's true. Yeah, I use this web-based program where you just type in the words and then they scramble it any way they want. Number 19. Okay, I don't know why my nose is so itchy tonight. Okay, so Wilda says, yes, the answers, please. Wilda, did you try to unscramble them when I showed them a few weeks ago? Let me show it. Okay. Now, if I show them side by side, will that help? Okay, will that help? See if I can show them side by side. That's locked. Let me unlock that. All right, there we go. All right. So now you're probably saying, now I got it. Now I get it. Side by side. Okay, you were here for this, Tanya. Okay. 17, shoe fly. You got that one. That was good. Oh, you weren't here for it. Okay, you missed it. Well, I'm glad I'm showing it again. Too hard. Okay. Wow. So this word scramble is not a good live stream game. It's too hard. We need to try something else, huh? Okay, so this is the last time we'll play this. We can go back to something else. You let me know. We haven't played a game in a long time. Which one do you prefer? We did Pictionary, bingo, and then we haven't played Jeopardy in a long time. Sherry likes Pictionary. Okay, so we can do Pictionary. Oh, you love the word scramble. Okay, Sally. Oh, all right. I didn't know that. I knew, Lois, that you had gotten a lot of these because you are good at this. It keeps you on your toes. Okay, Sally. All right, so Kavra says Pictionary. We will do Pictionary next time. Right now, I want to get into today's project. Are you ladies ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? All right. So over the last few lives, we've been talking about some small projects, easy projects, which people tend to like that during the holidays. Something fast, easy, and quick because we're behind and we want to make something, but we don't have a lot of time to make it. So we did a tree skirt. What else did we talk about? We talked about tree skirt and the quilt as you go projects, the table runners, and the Christmas stocking, and what else? I forgot what the other ones were. Tonight we're going to talk about a tissue cover, holder, a cover for your tissue, for your pocket-sized tissue. Have you made that before? Have you seen it? Stockings, yes. Wilda was born ready. Okay, ready. All right. Have you made these beautiful but simple pocket tissue covers? You know those little small packs that you can get at the dollar store, or you can get them at a big box store. You can get a whole bunch of them at one time, and you put them in your purse. All right. You've made a bunch of them. Okay. They're always useful. And they make perfect gifts. They're so easy. Okay. And you've made that looks like a golf shirt. That's interesting. Pocket-sized tissue covers. Yes, that's it, Wilda. Yes, they are fast and fun. But remember that they're great for scraps. Perfect. They are great for scraps. So that's fantastic. You ladies have made these before. And there's some variations to them. But remember, again, I've always talked about free motion and ruler quilting practice. Any technique we want to practice. Practice, right? So normally when we make these tissue covers, we just use scrap fabric and it's easy, right? We fold the fabric and we put it together. But what if we incorporated some machine quilting in it? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. And so I want to show that to you. Here are some examples. I made these several years ago when I was practicing feathers. And practice on a small scale. So on the back of the tissue cover, that would be my free motion quilting practice. Initially, what I did was I would practice on a fat quarter, or I would cut the fat quarter into 4 parts and then practice different designs on each of those 4 pieces. Then once I was finished, we always think, well, I have these practice sandwiches. What do I do with them? And in the past, I told you, make a sewing machine cover. But what I also did was that I would cut those practice sandwiches and make tissue pocket tissue covers with them, and they would be the back. Then when you took a free motion quilting class with me, I would give them away. So you'd get a tissue cover, and the back of it would have some free motion quilting that I did. And so then I took that to the next step. So those ladies who are practicing their machine quilting, yes, isn't that fantastic? This is a wonderful way to practice. Remember that conversation. If you are just joining us for the first time, go back and watch some of the Quilt Conversations live. And there's this one called Practice on Real Quilts. The whole conversation is about practicing on real projects, basically. And so when we're not practicing on real quilts, but we're doing it on quilt sandwiches, we want to know, how do we use it? You like this idea? Fantastic. Great way to use practice pieces. Yes. And if you're learning a particular technique like this, feathers, you can now create the perfect space on the back, quilt it, whatever design you're practicing. It could be an edge-to-edge design. It could be feathers. It could be whatever skill you want to improve. And you're doing it on a small scale. Doesn't take a lot of time to do. And then when you're done, you make a tissue cover and you give it to a quilty friend. Yes. You like pocket size everything. Awesome. Yay. So these are the pieces. And by the way, there is a link in the description box below. I have a tutorial with all the size measurements for making a tissue cover using free motion quilting, because the part that's the back needs to be a little bit bigger than when you make the normal tissue cover, because remember, the quilting is going to shrink it down, right? And if you want to put a particular design, you want to make it a little bit bigger. And so I give you those dimensions on the blog. So go to the description box below in YouTube. The link is there, and I give you all the dimensions. But if you're not going to free motion quilt, you can just use the same size for the back as 4 by 6. I think it is 4 by 6 inches. And so you see the pieces there. Or a non-quilty friend. That's true. Yes, I agree. Give it away to a non-quilty friend. Yeah, so all the information, and then, you stitch all the way around, and then you're going to turn it inside out. Easy, easy, easy. All of you ladies have made this before, so you know what it looks like. But to add the quilting to it is another process. You have to make the bottom part bigger. The bottom part bigger. Okay. This is what some others look like that I practice. Just dividing the space, trying different feather techniques. Was this a fantastic and fun exercise? Yes. And if for some reason it didn't turn out, that small piece of fabric, just chuck it and do it again. Perfect way to practice. Perfect way to practice. Okay, let's see here. I want to do this one and then hide that. So this is the ones that were without free motion quilting, right? And then here are the ones with the quilting on the back. So fun. So fun. All right. Yay. It is a great way to use your practice pieces. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I love this project. I haven't made one in a while recently. I'd like to do it again, and it is perfect for those edge-to-edge free motion quilting designs that we're learning and doing in the Alphabet mini eBook mini course. Those of you that are in the course, you can take those quilt sandwiches and make some tissue covers and give them away. what do you think? What other small gift idea that you can use with free motion quilting? What other things? What about that stocking that we did a couple of weeks ago where it was quilt as you go? Instead of doing quilt as you go, you might do one section quilt as you go, and then another section you would free motion quilt that and then put those two together, right? So she says that she needs more tissue holders and definitely be using your pattern and quilting them. Awesome. Postcards. Yeah, Sherry, that's a neat idea. I like that. Eyeglass case. Fantastic. Ladies, you are a wealth of tips. I like that idea, Cassie. Now, Cassie, you're learning on your new machine, so you're practicing quite a bit, I assume. And so you're going to have some practice pieces that you could make eyeglass cases. You can make tissue covers for all your Quilt Conversations live family members here. Small book covers. Neat idea. I like that too. Yep, Sherry, your idea of postcards is popular. People like that. And that's a good idea, Lois. The fabric trays, the trays that you make with the snaps. How do you find Buy Me a Coffee section? Okay, you see right here on the screen where it says Buy Me a Coffee. You just go to a browser and you type in join.livingwaterquilter.live. You type that in, and I can show that to you. Matter of fact, I'm glad you asked because I wanted to share that with you. So I just typed in the browser. That's the wrong one. Let's see. It's join, not tools. Join.livingwaterquilter.live. You type that in, and then you'll get this page. And then you can click on membership and join monthly, or you can click support and then put in whatever amount you want. Which leads me to, if you become a member, then you get access to the free after party. I just started this last week from 8:30 until 9:10, 40 minutes. We have a show and share on Zoom. So if you're a member, you would just click this show and share, and then it says $5. If you're not a member, you just pay $5. You come to the show and share, a meet and greet. We get to know each other. We share our quilting projects inspired by Quilt Conversations Live. But if you're a member, you just click Get This, and you put in 0. You put in 0 instead of 5. If you're not a member and you just want to pay as you go, put in 5. Then you will get the information, the link, the member, the meeting ID, and the passcode to enter the Zoom. And it opens up at 8:30, right after Quilt Conversations Live. Okay, let me sign out here so that all right, so you click here and it says Get This. So I click Get This, and then if you're a member, you just put in 0 and then go forward and you'll get the information. If you're not a member, you just put in 5 and you'll get the information, $5. Okay? Hopefully that helped. All right, so if you want to join the show and share tonight, just go to tools.livingwaterquilter.live and you will join the after party for show and share and meet and greet so that we can get to know each other a little bit more, right? I look forward to that. You would love to learn postcards. Yeah, postcards are fun. I made one a little while ago. It was fun to piece. I didn't free motion quilt it though. I'd have to think about that, how that works with free motion quilting, what I would do. Have you done it, Sherry? Have you made postcards with free motion quilting? Where do you find postcards? Well, a lot of ladies will use their home printer. And if you have a word processing software like Microsoft Word or something like that, they will just design it in Microsoft Word, or Microsoft Word might have a template for it already. Also, some companies like Avery that makes labels and um, table cards and things like that, they have templates because they sell postcards that you can put through your printer. And so they will have templates for that. And so you can borrow their templates, and instead of printing on paper, you can print it on the fabric. And then you can add your own embellishments and piece it together. Oh, Copper, I'm sorry. Did I say the wrong thing? Okay. For Amazon, it's tools.livingwaterquilter.live. For Buy Me a Coffee, it's join.livingwaterquilter.live. So it's either tools for tools and join for the Quilt Conversations live membership, or to buy me a coffee. Join.livingwaterquilter.live. Thank you, Copper. That's why you are the moderator. Because I didn't catch that. I'm sorry that I said that incorrectly. Sorry that I confused anyone. Tools is for all the tools and techniques, the tools that I use listed on Amazon, tools.livingwaterquilter.live. To join Quilt Conversations, it's join.livingwaterquilter.live. Okay. Yes, she is. She's on top of things. All right. All right. Oh, so you have no idea about fabric trays. Yeah, I shared that in one of the live sessions, and that was the one on, you got to go back and watch this one. This is really good. It is quilt paper. Quilt paper. We talk about machine quilting and sewing techniques on this fantastic paper. And I show you the trays that I made with this paper and used fabric with it. So just go back to the playlist and you can find that link below the video on YouTube. It's called Quilt Paper. It's episode 36. Quilt paper. Okay. All right. Awesome. So, you know what, ladies? I can't believe it. It's been an hour already. An hour. We covered a lot of things. We talked about community rules. We talked about some fantastic books. This finishing book, batting, backing, binding, and borders. And all of this, believe it or not, is what Quilt Conversations is all about. Machine quilting. And all of these things are parts of making machine quilting less stressful, right? When we have our squared quilt and we have fewer seams and we choose the right batting and we use these small projects like pocket tissue covers to practice free motion quilting. Oh, I hope we get to meet in person too. That's why I thought about the Zoom. I thought, well, we've talked about a retreat and other things, and who knows when that will happen. Now there's this new variant with COVID, and, you know, who knows? So why delay? Why can't we meet on Zoom, right? Plus, ladies, we're all over the country, and some of us are in other parts of the world. Sometimes we have ladies from Ireland joining us, England, and Australia. And so, remind me, what states are represented tonight? We have Pennsylvania, Colorado, right? Ohio, Virginia. Who else? What state did I miss? Colorado, that's Sherry. Ohio, yep, Sherry's in Colorado. Delaware, Kentucky. Yeah, see? So Zoom is a perfect place to start to get to meet each other in person. South Dakota, you see? Yeah. Yep, Indiana. Ah, Sally, you were raised in Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana. Okay, so Tanya says, I would just love a free motion quilting class someday. I just can't get my hands and feet moving in concert to get something that looks nice. Well, you know what? My alphabet design ebook mini course is exactly it's what I recommend to help you with that, because it includes these stitching paths. And the stitching paths are to help you develop that skill, to be able to move your hands in multiple directions in concert with the machine. You practice those stitching paths, and that's part of the ebook. And then from there, you use the designs in the ebook, and there's over 50 designs. Once you start to develop those stitching paths, those movements, your stitching length is going to improve, your machine hand coordination is going to improve, and you're going to be able to follow stencil designs. That was one of the challenges I had when I started free motion quilting. I love those beautiful stencils, and I could transfer them to a quilt, but I couldn't follow the lines because I had not developed the skill of moving the quilt to follow those lines. And that's what the Alphabet Design ebook mini course is. You can find that in the description box below, a link to that course, or Copper can put it inside the chat if she hasn't already. There's a link to that. And the benefit of that class is some of those designs and videos are here on YouTube, but they are in isolation. When you take the course, you get to submit assignments. I get to look at them. We get to talk about them. I get to give you tips. You get coaching from me. So there's 3 assignments, and then you move into making your own designs. And I help you all along the way. And there's a private community. You get to share your progress in the community, and they help you and encourage you. And then you also have a chance to share your projects with me in a private chat for private coaching. Okay, thank you, Copper, for sharing that. Okay, Copper, that's the blog. Can you share the alphabet design course? Did I give that to you? I think I did. Wilda was raised in the South. Oh, no. Sally says she was raised in South Dakota. Okay. It was a blessing on many different levels. It's nice to hear where people were raised and live. All right. Okay, anything else? Shapes, that is, copper. Okay. Do I teach any long arm classes? I don't teach long arm on a frame. I teach sit down machine. However, I have stitched on a long arm, and I find that some of the principles of stitching are very similar. The movements, yes, are very different. You have to learn to move the machine, and that is different. But some of the principles of preparing your fabric and batting and needles and all of that still apply. So Lois says the alphabet course was great, using the shapes, okay, that were known from writing. Fantastic. I'm glad it's helping, Lois. Awesome. Sherry's going to start the course early next year after she gets through her you're working on these unfinished projects, right? Yeah. Awesome. Okay. All right. Did I miss anything else? Wilda was raised in West Virginia. All right. So we have a lot of places represented. So we are going to close off tonight. And those of you who are joining the Zoom, I can't wait to see you in Zoom and say hello face to face and to hear about your free motion quilting projects and something that was inspired by Quilt Conversations Live. Some tip that you learned, something that you're practicing, whether it's ruler quilting or free motion quilting. I'd like to hear how this weekly live is helping you in your machine quilting journey. You are welcome. You are very welcome. I'm so glad. All right. You're welcome for the link. Yay. Thank you, Copper, for putting that in. Awesome. Yes, that's it. Courses. Thank you, Copper. That's the correct one. Thank you. Thank you. All right, ladies, have a fantastic weekend. What are you going to do this weekend? Are you going to sew? Are you going to do housework? Are you going to rest? Are you going to do some reading? What are you going to do? Whatever it is, be safe. Enjoy time with family and friends if you can. It's important to do that. I know that we all can't do it, but if you're able, have a wonderful weekend. Oh, Wilda, you're the best. You are the best. Thank you. Have a good weekend. A parade. Awesome. Yay. There's a parade actually here in Fredericksburg tomorrow. Yes, I saw that yesterday when I was out. We have a parade in Old Town Fredericksburg. So if you're curious, you can look up Old Town Fredericksburg. We have a big tourist department because it's historical and all that. So that's the town I live in Fredericksburg, just on the outskirts of town. So Sally's going to do some Christmas tree shopping. All right. Another great date night. So glad, Cassie. Awesome. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you for being a part of Quilt Conversations Live, and I'll see you next week. We will do Pictionary next week. All right. Take care, everyone. And don't let me forget. If you like being here, please tell your friends. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And give it a thumbs up. When you do both of those things, then YouTube says, ooh, there are people who like this and they share it with other people. And then it will help us bring ladies who want to have fun learning free motion quilting, machine quilting, ruler quilting, and just talk about quilting in general. So do those things if you haven't already. And those watching on the replay, I'm so glad you're here and you've lasted this long. Leave a comment below. If you have a question about machine quilting, I will answer it. Thank you, ladies. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time here on Quilt Conversations Live.